Yes, welcome to SCAD for SCADstyle, and congratulations on being the Etoile honoree this year for 2024.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I've had the most incredible 2 days learning about just how truly spectacular SCAD is.
You know, we awarded Carolina this award in 2016, so this makes 2 Etoiles for the House of Herrera, and that is a first.
It's, on a personal note, it's something that's very humbling and makes me very proud. That validation from you of, recognizing that Herrera still stands for Herrera really makes me feel very proud of my work.
You became creative director in 2018, and I'm wondering, Carolina is such an outspoken, elegant person, but how did she welcome you to her eponymous brand?
I started as a consultant with Mrs. Herrera. So I spent 1 year going to work every day while she was still there. And we'd sit together like this in fittings, and I'd kind of shadow her, I'd give my input, and it was just a great way to learn about the company culture and to learn about her codes and her practices, so that when the day came that she officially stopped coming to the office, it wasn't such a shock to the system for the people who worked there. Every day I have more appreciation for that. The idea that she could willingly step back and let other people take over making something that still has her name on every dress. To give me that trust is I really admire it, and every day I just admire it more. Being a creative director at Herrera, which was very much about transitioning the brand, you have to really touch every layer and element of the house, from your fit to the fabric selections, to the pricing, to your social media, to your marketing campaigns. All of these elements have to align and be reassessed. If you're a designer who's focused solely on that product, unfortunately, you're going to miss the entirety of the forest.
That's powerful. And you're engaged in every aspect.
Yeah, probably more than some people would like at the office, but I'm obsessive, and I love obsessive people. I'll send an email at 1 a.m. because I just remembered that something's wrong with a button. But it has to be an obsession.
Me too, so we could work together.
We'll call each other at 3 a.m. If you ever can't sleep, I'm up.
But you feel responsible for the success of the whole enterprise because a lot of people, their families are depending on the success of what you're doing.
And I firmly believe that if we're putting something out in the world that says Carolina Herrera, we need to stand behind it and say that this is as perfect as we can do it.
Wes Gordon.
I used to feel a need to apologize for my taste. And I'm not anti crazy clothes. I love that. It just has to be true to you. And that's the thing I tell all of you. Find out who you are on the inside and amplify that. Find out what makes you unique and showcase that. Don't worry about chasing other people because they're going to do it better. That's who they are. Do you. If you do something with truth and conviction and integrity, you'll find an audience for it.
I see your work as being so joyful and romantic and optimistic. How would you describe your aesthetic?
What I love is beauty and pretty, and I know those are subjective words, but my idea of it, where it's romantic and feminine, modern at the same time, but something that just brings a smile and brings joy, a beautiful color. It's not overwrought, but I like one pure statement. I like one gesture in a dress. If the gesture's the color, let it be the color.
What are some design considerations that contribute to the wearer feeling confident, modern, and chic?
I'm very anti these designer mandates that this season, this is the silhouette, this is the hem length, this is the color. It's just so unfair to women to try to say that everyone fits in the same box. So sometimes, even if it means our hems are all over the place or the colors are all different, to me it's more important that there's a piece in a Herrera store that connects to each woman's soul.
Absolutely. I think you succeed.
Thank you.
Another thing you said to the students, which I just loved, is that fashion can be magic.
I think all designers are magicians, really. I hate the notion that things like the arts or fashion or design are ever dismissed as silly or frivolous or non-essential. I mean, if the world had more of it, think what a better place it would be.
Absolutely.
Sometimes just a 2-second pause in your day where you can look in a mirror and feel empowered and like you look great can make all the difference. You have the power to do that. That's magic.
It is magic. Another thing we teach at SCAD is the business of beauty and fragrance. Fragrance is such an important part of every fashion
Definitely.
house. I know you've said that fragrance is an invisible accessory, and I couldn't agree more. I'm just wondering, as far as profitability and accessibility, what's the importance of fragrance to a fashion house?
Tremendous. Herrera has a remarkable portfolio of fragrance. One of which I think is number 3 in America, is called Good Girl.
Good
so it's
Girl,
Carly
of course,
Kloss, it's the
of
shoe.
course.
It's just a way to further amplify the storytelling and the messaging in a bigger way. It's this idea that everyone can have a piece of the world.
Yes.
And something fabulous. And the same love that we put into a beautiful dress, we put into fragrance.
One's fragrance can create a lasting first impression. So I know color is very important to
Very
you,
important.
and you love pure pigments, no muddling.
Only happy colors. When I arrived at Herrera, the house colors were gray and dark brown. And I just had a vision of, for my Herrera, it's a question a young designer has to answer when they're going to a legacy house. How will you make it your house? What will your
Yes.
mark be? So our yellow, I call our yellow taxi cab yellow. We have flamingo pink. They're colors that are full of energy, because at the end of the day, the woman who is coming to Carolina Herrera, she's not shy. She's not looking for a dress to just kind of be a wallflower and not be noticed. She's fabulous, and she's confident, and she's fun. And we want to give her the best clothes to play dress up with.
And this fabulous book, Colormania, tell me about what led to you creating this amazing book.
Oh, thank you. This just came out. It was my first book I worked on at Herrera. We partnered with this brilliant photographer, Elizaveta Porodina, whose work I had admired. The beginning of this book was an interesting story. It was during COVID, and I was really touched by the stories of dancers. To have a career that's relatively short, and for them to be using their peak time at home in quarantine with theaters closed.
I know, that was so
I thought it was
sad.
so heartbreaking. So we reached out to dancers all around the world, in Australia, Paris, New York, partnered with Elizaveta, and we asked each dancer to pick out some pieces from the collection. We mailed them to them in a box with fabrics for them to pin to the wall.
Fabulous.
And Elizaveta shot them over Zoom. She's really a painter with her camera. I mean, if you look at her work,
Beautiful. Yes, it's very
it looks almost
artistic.
like she did it with a paintbrush rather
But the
than a
motion
camera.
makes all the difference.
There's something just so dreamy and magical. So we did this book together that's really just, for us, it was just, a collection of our 6 shoots we did in this journey through COVID and beyond. And going back to SCAD, I am in total awe of what you have done.
I thank you for coming and being a guest educator here.
Oh, it's
this
my
week.
honor. It's my great honor. Thank
Well,
you.
It's a delight and pleasure to speak with you today. And I think you're advancing your own legacy with elegance and grace.
You're so kind. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much for your hospitality, and I hope to come back very, very soon.
I hope so too.